The White House has announced that they're going to start looking into banks that have debanked people in crypto, as that is discrimination, but more on that in a second. Welcome to Cryptocurrents, the weekly podcast about crypto and blockchain from people actually working in crypto and blockchain. No shilling, no FOMO, just everything you need to know to be well versed in the space. Think of us like a pair of pocket aces and you're playing Texas Hold'em. Regardless of what the river brings, you're still going to have a hell of a strong hand. I'm your host, Vince, and today I'm joined by Kale, a resident degen from the Encrypt team.
What's up?
And Olga from My Ether Wallet.
Hello.
So we'll talk about the debanking of crypto people and how we're all naughty crypto people. But before we do that, I want to talk about Base. We talk about Base a lot on this show because they are doing a lot of stuff. But, Base was making headlines over the last few days because their blockchain stopped producing blocks for about 20 minutes. So, Kale, talk to me about this. As a degen, is this concerning? Is this something that is worth keeping an eye on? Or is it kind of just things that happen in blockchain?
Dude, you don't want to hear my degen thoughts on this.
Give me your degen thoughts. That's what we're
Honestly,
here for, man.
I'm not even mad about it because I'm an Ink fanboy.
Okay.
I'm reading from the sidelines, yeah, down with Base. But no. Apparently, so I mean, personally, I don't really use Base that much anymore. I was heavy in Base during the first on-chain summer in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since then, it's slowly but surely been becoming less, I guess not useful, but useful for lack of better words.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, at this point, I kind of just see Base as a super centralized L2, which is, I don't know, I guess some L2s will be centralized and some won't be. But basically, my thoughts on Base going down for a little bit is I'm not that mad about it because I'm not even a huge Base fan.
You're just over on the sideline ready to throw rocks, aren't you?
Yeah, but also I'm not really surprised. A lot of people are mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's a centralized L2, of course, when things happen, they're gonna come in and do what they have to do to change it. What was interesting to me was in the article it said that the chain stopped because of on-chain activity, but they didn't specify what exactly was happening. So it's was it organic on-chain activity?
They made him. Sorry, I meant to take over, but because
Don't jump it.
They were doing an upgrade or something, and literally a human error messed it up. And
I mean, you probably know more than I do. I only read one article about it, but yeah.
Olga, talk to us about this.
No,
okay, so,
no, that's just all I kind of got from it. But to be
right, so is that concerning in the broader blockchain space? If human error can rip a chain down that is the largest L2, is that a concern for crypto in general? Is that a concern, or is that just it happens?
Well, I feel I mean I agree with Kale 100%. It's a very centralized L2 whatsoever, but I also have a maybe weird relationship with it because in my head the purpose of L2s was obviously to make the transaction speed go faster, make it cheaper, and a bunch of other good things that can come with it. However, what I really strongly disagree with, I don't think that L2s have to recreate the entire chain from scratch. So it doesn't have to support all their, features. It doesn't have to be, we have peer-to-peer payments, we have NFTs, we have this and that, and then all of a sudden it's not really an L2 at this point. It's just everything in everything. And that's just kind of where I feel it created this one point of error and everything can go down, and just very strange to me in a way. Why would you want to do it? But I mean, I get it because everybody's using the chain now. You want to add more to it and so forth. But yeah.
So has Ethereum ever gone down like this or no?
Well, I can't remember exactly when, but definitely, especially with CryptoKitties. Completely
okay, so way
everything down. Yeah, but it's just whenever there's crazy activity, everything of course is just gonna jam the chain, and it's gonna be extremely difficult to produce blocks. But in the end of the day, it's just I always thought, I was well, how long was it down? 39 minutes? It wasn't
33
that long.
Apparently, yeah.
33, yeah. Bitcoin, how long does it take to produce a block?
It's a single transaction.
4 hours?
Oh my god!
question about the whole thing was like, whether, because they say that it happened because it was like too much activity happening on chain. But it's like, I don't, does that much activity even happen on base? You know, so like now my question is, was it an attack on base, or was it actually like a CryptoKitties moment where they were just like overloaded? I can't tell. I
Or
guess
was
we're
it
gonna
just some engineer, like, forgetting to carry over the M dash or whatever? I don't actually know how to
or that,
program.
yeah,
So is it a
yeah.
parenthesis in the wrong spot? But no, I think it's interesting because you bring up a great point, because it is kind of a centralized entity, and because Coinbase has to protect their share prices, they could say, oh, it was human error, when it could be an attack, and they're trying to cover it up. But I do think it's interesting that we haven't seen Ethereum come down since the CryptoKitties, if we're relying on Olga's memory, which is far better than mine. Um, just because you've been here so long, which actually takes me to our next topic. So next week is actually the anniversary of my Ether wallet, the company that we all work for. It's turning 10 on August 11th, according to the GitHub. Olga, how long have you been with the company? Because you were like employee
I don't
number.
even know. I know. I honestly, I don't. I can't even tell you because
Olga's been through it all.
like no, legit. I feel like also COVID just completely broke my timeline. It was just like 1 year became 10 years. So I don't know. It's been a while, definitely a while. And I know like even before kind of I started working with MEW, I worked with Casala just on a different project that eventually became MEW project. So I've been in this space for a while. And I don't know,
So
2009,
Kale and I got
8, 7.
to real well. Okay,
Damn.
so we have
Oh
another.
wait, no, 2019. Sorry.
I was like,
say,
wow, you must
that's
be
early.
crypto rich. So we actually have a special episode coming out next week where we talk about the history of my Ether wallet and kind of the history of Ethereum as well. And so Kale and I have gotten to talk a lot about this, but we want to hear from you, Olga. How was your journey into crypto? How did you first get into crypto?
Oh, well, you want the real, honest answer,
Let's hear
or
it.
the scripted one?
No. Give me the real. This is
Okay,
the raw.
okay. So, I mean, I know Casala from college. We went to school together, and I was doing my master's degree, and I was actually preparing for like before my master's degree. I wanted to specialize and write my paper on image recognition, and I was doing a lot of stuff basically related to that. And then I just had one meeting with Casala at some point, maybe like right before I was supposed to actually submit my research thesis for approval, and it just kind of like blew my mind, because obviously I heard about Bitcoin, I heard about a bunch of stuff, and in my head it was just some magic internet money that people were using, and I didn't see a real value in it. And after I remember just having that one conversation, it kind of like opened up the ideas. It's like, well, your payments can be much easier. You can be your own bank, and the whole idea of decentralization really sold me. And I just switched my thesis literally overnight.
Are you
Wrote a bunch of
serious?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
to be fair, master's theses are very easy compared to, PhDs. So it's not that impressive. Okay. But
I mean, but that's a sliding door moment where you are like on
yeah.
a dime, or like, let me change this entirely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a bit rushed, but yeah, that's kind of
I like to think
how it happened.
I like to think your chair like got this updated pitch and was like, this was not what we talked about yesterday. What are you doing?
Yep. Well, I mean, I had a great professor. He was very understanding, and to be fair, I feel like also like from my end is just like I was so interested in image recognition and all that crap for so long, and it just became boring. And after a while, it's just like I wanted something new and fresh, and this has just felt like completely new and
That's
interesting.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then how long after getting your master's, do you remember what year you joined MEW? Like
No,
2019? No, just somewhere in there.
18, 19.
2018? Okay.
I don't know, somewhere. Yeah, around that.
That's awesome. No, it's really fun to hear like how everyone kind of gets their first touch of crypto and then is like, ooh, yeah, I kind of want to make my life about this. And speaking about people that make their lives about crypto, let's talk about Jack Dorsey. So Jack Dorsey, famous guy in crypto, always is seen in the Bitcoin shirts. Just launched I guess for lack of a better term, vibe coded app he made that really isn't holding up to like some of the security scrutiny that people are throwing at it. But what's cool is it is a peer-to-peer encrypted messaging using Bluetooth, which I was like, oh man, I didn't even realize that was a thing. I need this in my life.
You don't.
And so it's kind of relevant to like crypto and blockchain. Oh, we go, Olga, go. You have an
hot
opinion.
take here.
Hot take, lay it on us.
Go ahead. Finish. What
No,
you're
I was
saying.
gonna say like every time I fly, I'm like, God, I do not want to pay for this Wi-Fi so I can send my wife a meme. If I could just send her this via Bluetooth, that would be amazing.
BitChat. Straight up.
But yeah,
they were doing testing about it in the airplane.
Well, how did you get the meme in the first place if you didn't have the Wi-Fi?
Very good point. If I want to send her a text that's like, yo, bring me back, order me something. I don't know, whatever it is. Every time I fly, I'm like, oh, I want to message someone else on this plane I'm here with, but I don't want to pay for the Wi-Fi. But tell me about why this is horrendous, because I'm super intrigued by it.
It's not about the app itself, even though it's the idea that it's vibe coded. Like I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't stand it. I get it. Like people think that it's so easy. It's not. Like it's 100%. It's not. It's just you guys know of T app?
Oh yeah.
Happened last
T app, yeah.
Was it last week? Right. That's just,
and
I'm sure that wasn't vibe coded. And in the end of the day, they just leaked all the information possibly out there. Now you're talking about this that's supposed, this app that's supposed to have some kind of encryption, completely vibe coded. Seriously, I don't know. It feels to me like it's completely terrible idea because people are gonna leak the messages. There's gonna be people texting you or like I don't know. It just feels like very privacy violation moment to me.
Yeah, but I do think vibe coding is a huge trap. I was talking with my mentor who's currently trying to hire a CTO for his startup, and on he was messaging a candidate and was like, hey, so how would you clean up this bit of code? And then they sent back the answer, but they just copy pasted from ChatGPT, which included the copy and edit text that ChatGPT pops out. He couldn't even be bothered to copy paste it right.
Just read through it. Just at least read through it. Like what he... Yeah.
Did you actually read something though about BitChat being vibe coded, or are you just dunking on Jack Dorsey?
No, I mean,
I think he did say it was vibe coded.
He said it was basically, he's like, I did it over a week or whatever, and so this may not be hyper secure yet, but I'm gonna work on it.
Have you guys tried it yet?
No.
Okay, I have it open right here.
I'm also pretty sure it's not the first app that was supposed to send peer-to-peer messages over Bluetooth, and I'm pretty sure they all had encryption problems. And then we're talking about this vibe-coded app.
Interesting.
You have it open, and Kale, talk us through it.
I do. It's super. I think it's super dope. But also, I'm like the degen that loses money and doesn't know how things work on the back end. So take this with a grain of salt. But yeah, I mean, it looks so. It's literally you download it. It's just like a chat room, and then it's empty right now because there's nobody around me. Right. But then when you go into the settings, it says it's offline communication, end-to-end encrypted, no tracking, blah blah blah. There's a panic mode. This is really cool. So if you type something,
panic mode.
No, just watch. Listen. So if you type something, I'm just gonna show you guys real quick. I have messages in here. If that were a real chat happening, you just tap it 3 times and it disappears.
And it deletes everything.
It deletes all your chats if you tap it 3 times.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that's a cool feature as far as privacy goes. I guess we're gonna have to see. Time will tell whether it's gonna last or not, or whether the vibe coding will defeat it. But
I also just love the idea of Bluetooth to be able to communicate. If you're at a concert or whatever, where there's a grip of people and cell phones don't work, I'm like, oh, this would be super helpful. I don't know why that's not more ubiquitous.
Long term, what I'm excited about is this kind of lays the groundwork for Bitcoin on Bluetooth or like any on-chain things on Bluetooth. You know, like I don't know if that's actually possible.
Olga, is that actually possible?
So I mean, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
I don't know.
I mean, if it's not a hard no,
I
then
can't.
it's
I can't find like a use. Like, what would you want to do with it?
Well, I mean, like if I'm saying
Send
like in an
transactions?
Armageddon scenario, like
I
if
mean,
we
if
lose
I want to
Wi-Fi,
pay someone without having access to the internet, I mean, I could see that. Okay, like here's
You
a
have to, but you have to have an internet to propagate the transaction. It's like you
That's
can.
true.
I guess like you would be able to create transaction in like offline setting and
Yeah.
send it somewhere to propagate it, but then like
you still
Maybe
technically
it's-
need internet.
yeah,
Yeah.
for the nodes to run.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'll have to think on
Extra
that.
layer of protection if you want to think about it this way, but like
True. I was thinking more
maybe.
along the lines of like emerging economies, like if you're in the middle of the desert and you don't have Wi-Fi and you need to pay someone for water in the middle of the desert. I don't know. Like, do you take crypto?
Yeah, no, I didn't even put two and two together. That like, hello, yeah, obviously we still need the nodes. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Great point.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing that's kind of really important right now is liquid staking projects have been. It has been stated, this is not actual like legislation or law yet, but they are not going to be considered securities. And so we don't really have to get kind of into the actual nuance of that. But broadly speaking, Olga, how do you feel about all of the regulation we're seeing towards crypto and kind of more of the clarity? Because this does feel like this is a step towards more clarity for all of us.
I would probably have maybe not the most popular opinion, but I believe crypto needs to have some regulations, 100%. But I believe that they also need to have a very clear regulations. And it doesn't necessarily just with staking, but in general. Even when you submit something to Twitter to advertise, you know, like there needs to be some kind of either a clear understanding like what you are looking for, you know, different special set of rules, because I'm sure, Vince, you can say that there's a lot of issues we had with Twitter because they believe that we're a bank, or you know, when we're not. And then
Absolutely.
there's no way to prove them. And I feel like this is a great step to, you know, to make it more clear and have a better future in a way for crypto. But yeah.
No, I agree. Like, I mean, this is clearly a very crypto friendly, you know, administration that we're seeing, and they are definitely making a lot of steps in the right direction for crypto. And I think that this is yet another good one. Let's see if California will ever be allowed to stake crypto, which I think it's so funny how New York and California are just like, no, there's so much crypto stuff. But Kale, talk to us. What are your feelings?
I mean, any progress towards more clarity, especially when it comes to Ethereum, I think is good news. I think that this is probably like they're one of the final steps before they introduce spot ETH ETF staking. They probably needed to do this before they approve the spot ETH ETFs, which is also, you know, cool to hear, because now if that were to go through, it's like people like my grandma, if she wants to stake Ethereum, you know, you don't have to download an extra app, you don't have to write down any words, you just go in your Fidelity account, just stake your Ethereum, you can do it now. So that's cool. I'm excited for that to come to fruition. I do think though that liquid staking in the future is gonna unravel and like cause a shit show.
Why is that?
Because it's like basically like the Terra Luna situation, right? Where it's like they're taking something and then like staking it and then borrowing it and then staking it again and then borrowing it and staking it again. And I mean, that's just, it's unsustainable, obviously. So I mean, it might
Turtles
work.
all the way down.
Yeah, it might work for some time, but I mean, you know, not everybody can do it, you know, so like eventually there's going to be a breaking point. So yeah, I feel bittersweet about liquid staking, but I mean, this is cool news overall.
Yeah, I definitely am not. I have staked Ethereum, but I don't have like liquid staked Ethereum. I'm not.
Yeah,
like,
me
oh
neither.
yeah, give me Steth or whatever, that, because that I'm like, that scares me.
Ditto.
That
I think there's
Yes,
also
Olga.
like another part about it is I guess because I'm coming from, again, I'm not like a US person originally, and the I'm sorry, someone's knocking on my door.
You're good.
It's a small child, I'm
off.
sure.
Yeah, it is her trying to get inside. And all I kept thinking about is that video where
The guy's giving
where
the
some
news and the
government
child
worker,
pops in.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's gonna
And then the
happen to
mob's
me
like
right
in the
now.
background trying to be sneaky. No.
Yeah.
COVID has really reshaped how we're all just like, oh yeah, people are humans across the board.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh, I guess so. What I'm trying to get is like, I think with liquid staking, you have the ability to try something that just small, right? And the idea is like, obviously when you have like a normal savings account, like how much does it give you back? Like 0.0001%.
Yeah, like less than a
And
percent.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. But then with this one, you don't need a giant amount of money. You can have I don't know, $100, and just to see how it works in the end of the day. Because I feel like sometimes there's like you hear those things, it's like, oh yeah, I can get 5%, but because you don't know like how long term it can affect your financial stability, you don't do it because it's just like, oh, it's only 5%. It's not like it's but then like realistically just like it does something to you, but you don't really. I'm sorry, I've completely lost where I'm supposed to go with this. But
You're
basically
saying
what I'm trying to get is like it's better like because you can kind of learn how it works, and
Rather than committing like a huge amount of money and then getting a small return.
for sure.
Yeah.
I just think where normal people get tripped up and is where I get tripped up. It's like, cool, you deposited this, now you get another token with a different name. That is like, then I'm like, well, what do I do with these tokens? Like this
And
is
it's called
that's
meth, by
just
the way.
confusing. I just want to put Ethereum in, get Ethereum out. Like that's all I want. Just because that's cleaner, and no one comes up with good names for these liquid staking tokens. They're like Steeth and Wreath, and it's just like, what is happening? Is this a Christmas thing? I don't understand. But it's funny. So Olga mentioned banks, which actually brings us to where we started, which was, Donald Trump issued an executive order stating that they're going to be looking into banks that have been specifically denying or debanking people in crypto or conservatives. And mostly I care about the crypto part because that's interesting because our company has actually been debanked once. And I know several people in crypto who just overnight Chase Bank went, nope, no, you do not have all of these. And I think that this is good to see. That hopefully there will be an investigation into that, and this kind of behavior will be stopped. But have you guys heard any stories of people in crypto being debanked? Have you yourselves like seen anything that you're like, oh, clearly there's another like secondary screening that all my information goes through? Because I do feel like when I apply for a credit card, it takes longer than it used to now since I've worked in crypto.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
I've
haven't
never
noticed difference.
I've never
No
personally
difference.
been debanked. I'm not like on that level.
Yeah.
But I remember in I think it was 2023, Silicon Valley Bank shut down. Now that I'm talking about it, that was the one that like wouldn't accept our stuff, right? If I remember correctly.
I don't recall.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's good to see. Awesome. Crypto's moving forward. This is like kind of the same sentiment that I've harped on for like many episodes, that like the wild wild west era is coming to an end, and this is another indication of that, which like I mean, I'm not even mad about it. It's cool to see.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where I'm like, okay, yeah, let's grow up and like allow us to have bank accounts, please, because
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the Silicon Valley Bank the run on that bank was like going to be a massive problem until the government stepped in, and thankfully they did. Just because that was a bunch of startups and a bunch of tech companies that use that as their bank, and could have been a big disaster for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's great to kind of see that. And in our episode with Noah, he did point out that it's crazy that this administration has taken such an interest in crypto, because don't see any other kind of emerging industries getting this kind of attention from any president in my lifetime.
I read something on Twitter
I feel
recently. Sorry,
I
Olga,
feel
go
like
ahead.
that's kind of like also it's a good thing and a bad thing because once the new administration comes in, they can in theory just reverse everything and you kind of back into square one.
Definitely.
So
that
it
that
just
is
kind of
certainly
gives you this false hope in the future.
Slippery slope
It's
for
like,
sure.
here you go. You can exist for another 2 years, but then you die.
Yeah, my hope is that the next administration doesn't just come in and be like, "Oh, all you crypto people, get out of here." I'm hoping that we're going to see
I
enough
still think there's a
innovation.
lot of stigma everywhere. Like a lot of people don't understand what they're like again, what everything is, and it's scary. It's really, really scary.
100%. Yeah, it's
But
still going to take time to educate the normies for sure. I read on
Speaking of
Twitter
speaking of,
recently that
oh, good.
people were speculating. There's like not really any evidence to this. These are just people speculating. I need to preface this. But yeah, I read, and I think it's a very interesting thought experiment that Donald Trump and his team are like leaning so heavy into crypto and stablecoins specifically because basically they're trying to because of the new stablecoin laws, stablecoin issuers are forced to buy like bonds and treasuries in order to stay afloat and keep minting stablecoins. And so I read people saying that like Donald Trump's plan is to basically make crypto mainstream, integrate it into everything, and then the stablecoin issuers are forced to buy back the U.S. debt, and that's like he's basically making the stablecoin issuers like, if you guys want to stay in business, you need to buy the bonds and treasuries. So I thought that was an interesting thought experiment. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It is interesting. I'm gonna have to look more into that because I did just see that MetaMask issued their own stablecoin like yesterday.
Yeah,
Didn't
and
have
it
a
would
chance to look
explain
into
like
it.
the heavy lean in, going from Biden's administration to Trump's administration. It's been a huge difference as far as like how we're treated as an industry.
I feel like we already have some more topics ready for us to look into for next week. Because this brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you feel smarter for listening because you should, because Olga was here, and she's far smarter than I could ever hope to be.
Yeah, me too.
I just wanted to thank you for listening, dear listener. Leave us a review wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you follow and subscribe. Olga, thank you so much for being here and filling in for our dear sweet Katya on her birthday.
Happy
And
birthday, Katya.
and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.